Our beauty is not just in ourselves.
Yes, yes, yes.
Our beauty is when we collide with purpose, and purpose always has to do with servicing humanity. So you need to discern before you decide. And you see, sometimes that discernment thing, we use the ability for a man of God to be able to preach well, talk well, to be able to also give a ratio to how they're able to keep secret behind the scene.
Yes,
no.
sir.
Sometimes it will interest you to know that people's character behind the microphone is totally different.
Yeah.
So there are two types of stone. There's the physical stone and there's the emotional stone. I saw a recommendation that will bless you. I'm not feeling intimidated that you are going to be more than me.
Yes, sir.
I push you into it. But it's a lie about church folks.
Yeah.
As long as it's not me, make it remain there.
Yeah. Yes. Getting to that point of release, surrender, surrendering yourself to experience the love of God, for your soul to be repaired. Because the truth is, there are, whether we like it or not, there are destinies attached to us.
Everyone.
So, like you
Everyone.
mentioned earlier about purpose and pain.
You know, just to add to destiny attached to us, God does not create, or there's no project in God that is without a purpose.
Yes.
God does not create. Oh, Mama, just look at it now. There's no any serious businessman
Yes, sir.
that goes into production for what to be a waste.
Yes.
Yeah.
No any serious businessman.
There's a purpose for
There is always
embarking
a
on
purpose.
that business.
This chair
Yes, sir.
has a purpose.
Yes, sir.
And the purpose of this chair is to be sat on.
Yes, sir.
The beauty of this chair is not in the chair.
Sure.
It's when someone sits
Sits
on
on
the chair.
it.
And that is where that selflessness comes in for destiny. Our beauty is not just in ourselves.
Yes, yes, yes.
Our beauty is when we collide with purpose. And purpose always has to do with servicing humanity.
Yeah. Service.
Servicing humanity. There must be a human in play. And do you know the irony?
Yes.
The bulk of your pain will come from human being.
Yeah.
And the bulk of your purpose will also come from human being.
Yes. So this thing you just said, like I had this conversation with someone recently, and we're talking about the person's experiences, and I gave the analogy of Peter and Judas. So Judas betrayed Jesus. So rather than run back to Jesus, he hung himself. Peter also betrayed Jesus.
Very much.
So instead of hanging himself,
He went back.
so it's
Vulnerability, be
yes,
open.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Vulnerability, the choices we make. And I remember Jesus saying that Satan sought to sift him as wheat, that he had prayed for him, and that when he was converted, he should also. So I applied that to my life. So Satan had sought to sift me.
Yeah.
And same applies to every one of us.
All of us.
But Jesus is interceding on our
My
behalf.
God.
So by the time we get to that point where we realize that there is purpose in our pain, and then we are converted, we'll now be able to use the pain, the experience to strengthen others. So back to what you were saying earlier about finding purpose. We've made it look like purpose is something very big that is
exactly.
unreachable.
So strange for me.
You can't fathom it. You can't. It's not tangible. You just. It's something that you have to climb 7 mountains and cross for you to.
No.
But we're not realizing that we just have to look inward.
In short, ma, do you know that sometimes your purpose for today's date is
13th.
13th September 2024. Your purpose for 13th September 2024
Okay.
might just be give someone a meal.
Right, sir.
Give someone a meal, and that is all. Sometimes it might just be a show that this person is in depression, and the enemy's agenda is for the person to commit suicide.
Yes.
But there's a million souls. So you are going to be the intermediary.
Yes.
So many of us, we have, read the story how our mother of faith, Catherine Kuma,
Yes, sir.
had a crusade. And it was only one convert.
Yeah.
And that one convert today is Benin.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So to her, that meeting was a failed meeting, most especially in relation to people's applaud. And that is
Yes.
where we are going back to.
Yes.
People's certification. You see, it's beautiful to be loved by
Yes.
people,
Yeah.
to have their applause and the rest of them. But you see, put that as secondary. Put that as secondary. Because you see, the same people that shouted Hosanna on Friday
same
Crucify
person that
him.
were the one that said crucify.
Sorry, something came to mind. I've always thought about this thing. When they said Jesus or Barabbas, and they said they crucified Jesus and let go of Barabbas. So one day I was thinking about, I was like, maybe if that happened on a Friday, so probably they let go of Barabbas, and by Saturday, Barabbas, the same people, Barabbas went to their houses
And go and
to go and steal, break their locks. The same Barabbas they said should let go of, because it was not accounted, that it was not stated in any account that he even repented or was remorseful. Like the other thief that knew that he deserved it,
deserved it.
but asked for mercy. So it's possible for you to have, this man no deserve this thing, but it is by the mercy of God that I was let go, and then I repent. But there was nothing like that was said of him. So it's possible that Barabbas still went to continued what?
Continued. So sometimes it is not in their plot. So sometimes it might just be a succor to someone that is going through.
Sure, sir.
Be a comfort. Sometimes it's just to be there for somebody. Sometimes God is, giving you some heavy financial blessings,
Yes, sir.
so that you can be able to push some of the agendas of the kingdom at the front of, media, urban areas, and the rest of them.
Yes, sir.
Look for people that are, believing God for school fees and the
Yes,
rest
sir.
of them, and just be of help.
Yes, sir.
It's in different way. There's something I've also realized over time. We want to play God to our own purpose.
Hey.
Wow.
Yeah, we want to play God to our own purpose. Do you understand what that means? This is what it means. We want to be the one. You see, Psalm 40, verse 7 and 8, he said, "Lo, I go in the volumes of the books that is written of me to do thy will, O God." But you see, we are now trying to reverse the case. Yeah. Lo,
What you want.
I go in the volumes of the books that I write for myself to do my own will.
Got to accept it.
Yeah. To do my own will.
Ah.
And many a times, those will are funded and floated by the competitive agendas that we see around us.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Like, if you are going through something now, and the Lord is telling Ruth, give this, young man this thing so that he can become, financially buoyant and go through that season and rest of it. In her heart, because she has an idol of another purpose.
Yes. Wow.
I want that kind of purpose that will come with a lot of applause, recognition, being openly, you get awarded
Yes,
and the rest
yes.
of them. I don't want this secret. There's something that we've not realized over time. Do you know that if you take away Miriam,
Hey, there'll be no Moses. Oh.
there won't be no Moses the deliverer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the small ark that was built, those were, if you check the Hebrew word for that thing that seemed to look like it was also the word that was used for the ark that Noah
Noah built.
built. Water resistant.
Wow.
Yeah. The small ark that was built, even though it resisted water, would have actually float Moses to the place of death somehow.
Yes.
And the
yes.
Nile River had crocodiles.
Because it was Nile. But to the glory of God and to the position of and it's also a call for some people watching this podcast. You just have a feeling that, oh, I am saved. My elderly ones, my younger ones, let them remain, let them keep living that life. Become the Miriam of your family.
Right, sir.
Yeah, become the Miriam of your family.
So, a lot of times when this thing about purpose is mentioned, we also get to that point where we think it's something, it has to be something big. It has to be something huge. It has to be like a pulpit ministry. You have to be on national television. You have to be everywhere on Forbes magazine and all that. But there's this person that fascinates me in the Bible. It baffles me that how can you be running for your life, but you still had time to carry a millstone? It was not mentioned if she even carried a bag of wheat, but she carried a millstone and climbed the tower. Only for that millstone to have been a weapon she used to destroy the enemy.
The enemy, yeah.
I am sure she didn't wake up thinking that it was going to be
Yeah.
a weapon in her hand.
Yeah.
And that was all that was mentioned. Her name was not even mentioned.
Yeah.
How do we, you said the things we go through in life
Yeah.
is part of the process.
Yeah.
It's part of what's like part of our
Purpose.
Yeah.
purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sometimes we make mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in that, the whole process. So
Yeah.
now how do we get to accept that it was part of the journey, and how do we get to accept and also forgive ourselves? Because there will be so many questions in our head. Why? If it's a
why?
process, why would God allow this happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would he that
Why?
he have the power to just help us avoid
Yeah.
those things? But
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. I could actually relate to that. Some of us have our past.
yes.
It was when we got into some little limelight of our call
Okay.
that we realized that past was not an error.
Mm.
You see the way I could be able to relate, to people who had fathers who, hit their mom and all that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Is because I also was in that space before. I used to live a very, 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 very rough life. In short, in my old days, they called me ghost man.
Hey.
Check out back.
That's how terrible I am.
I don't know where, sir.
Yes, thank you. I was those days. I've used a pen, just a pen,
Wow.
to pull out, somebody's nose and ear in one day.
You pierced the nose?
Yes, with a pen.
Oh.
So it's really bad.
You get me? That's how. Now, those times it seemed as if, it was a mistake.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I can relate with people who are going through those things now.
Yes.
Then the question, the core of your question is, how do you forgive yourself?
Yes.
and understand that everything was all a process and move on.
Yes, sir. That moving on.
That moving on, it boils down again to what Mama was actually telling us. You must see God to be your Abba, your Father. I understand that in your human capacity sometimes, but you see, there's something you must understand today that will interest you.
Okay.
Forgiveness is very important to you first. But
Right.
do you know that? If you don't understand that the forgiver first is God, you might not even forgive yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Because sometimes people don't know that what the blood did is not Zobo.
Right.
The blood is not Zobo Rodo. And the blood is the blood of a sinless man, the only begotten son.
Yeah.
If you wake up with a consciousness like this, let me say this. If you wake up with a consciousness like this, what is the cost price of my life?
Wow.
The cost price of my life is not my past.
No.
The cost price of my life is Jesus Christ and his blood.
Sir.
Now, can you compare Jesus? Can you, if you put the both on a scale, which one do you feel will weigh more? You getting me? So you will let go your past.
So there are people that have God Himself on their black book. They have Him in their black book where they
yes.
blame Him for everything.
Yes, very much, very much, very much, because to them, they feel that, like I was preaching in one of the churches, around Badawa on Sunday, and I was telling them, I said, some of you, your problem is not Badawa. Your problem is the wrong mindset in Badawa.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was telling you why we're coming. There are people in Asokoro. Asokoro is one of the in Abuja.
Yeah.
You getting me? Is the core politicians, the core, not
Yeah.
the people that are trying to claim big boy in Abuja.
Yes,
The
sir.
core politicians live in Asokoro. But there are people in Asokoro whose mindset is Dede mindset, is Zuba mindset. But there are people in Zuba whose mindset is Asokoro.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you now realize that it's first of all the kind of mind, the kind of soul,
Yes, sir.
the exposure.
Quality.
Yes, that's the word. That's the word. The quality of the soul before even the quality of the place. So someone can be in trenches. Someone can be in trenches, can be in the backside of life, can be at the gutter side of life. But that person is hitting the whole wide world.
Wow.
While
Yeah.
somebody is at the forefront of life, as in the place that could be called the limelight of life.
Yes, sir.
But yet that person believes that the whole world is on his or her shoulder and there's nothing going on.
I have a question.
Yes.
You talked about
Have we made progress?
Yes, sir. Yes.
you talked about being vulnerable.
Yeah.
And also how that people we admire also have something to do with how we
Yeah.
Yeah.
attach our purpose. Okay, I'm someone who is very careful,
Yeah.
and I really don't like to be known. I don't like attention.
Yeah.
I just want to be myself. I don't want.
If God doesn't want
I-
to give you attention.
Exactly. So, I've had issues where I just get to relate something small with somebody,
Yeah.
and then I get to hear it from another person who the
Wow.
person I told, like
Yeah.
4 person after,
Yeah.
like I told this person something, the person told another person,
Yeah.
and the person told another
Told
person
another
who came to
person.
tell
What
me,
we're talking about.
Finding,
who came to tell me what I said. I was like, how did you get here? Like
Yeah.
I expected that this person.
finding people that you
So-
can trust.
Yeah.
Exactly.
with
So
information.
how do we know? Because
The
even
right
even
people.
pastors, even
Yeah.
I mean
Yes.
people that
Yes.
you trust,
People in the church.
it's just there. And so you're trying to actually find someone to be
Yeah.
vulnerable with. And
Yes.
then it's just
Yes.
So how
finding
do we
someone
get
to be vulnerable with.
Yes,
Very
how do we
key.
get
The
that?
right person.
Yes.
You see, this is a learning point for so many of us as men of God, because we have actually scared people away
Yes, sir.
by this kind of behavior. There are people who want to open up. There are people who want to share things with us. You see that you hear it on the pulpit
Yes, sir.
as the next message.
Yeah.
You get what I mean now?
Yes.
Or just as he said, they begin to mention it to people.
Yes, sir.
And sometimes, without even empathy, the people that you even respect,
Yes, sir.
So much.
or the people that even respect you, vice versa.
True.
Now, on your own aspect, what you should do is this: discern before you decide.
Powerful.
Discern before you decide.
Discern before you decide. Check out people's track record when it comes to keeping secrets
Secrets.
and being trustworthy. There's something I've told my fellow men of God over the years, and it's part of my personal practice. I've been privileged to deal with father to the last born, and I treat them on different compartments.
Yes, sir.
This one will come and say, this, I don't know. I know, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Different compartments. And for 12 years, they've been dealing with me.
Wow.
Last week, Saturday, one of them was still in my place. For 12 years. And they will always say it, that anything I tell my younger one or my elder ones will not hear it. Neither
Yes,
will
sir.
father or mother hear it. It's a level of maturity, learning to, departmentalize and compartmentalize people's information, keeping it at heart. Most especially when it connects to family, there's a way you can just slip it off. You can
Yes,
just.
sir.
Oh, no, I'm telling you, 12 years. 12 years now.
Over a
12.
decade.
12. So you need to discern before you decide.
Decide.
And you see, sometimes that discernment thing, we use the ability for a man of God to be able to preach well, talk well, to be able to also give a ratio to how they're able to keep secret behind the scene.
Yes,
No.
sir.
Sometimes it will interest you to know that people's character behind the microphone is totally
different.
different.
Yeah.
It's totally different. So there would have been this relating, this tesroning,
Yes, sir.
for a while. Then when you realize that, okay, there is, it's intact, nothing is tampering with it,
Yes, sir.
then you can now begin to go deep into some. See, there are some very sensitive things that, in short, sometimes, it shouldn't be more than maybe one person or two persons that should be able to
Aware.
hear. Because some people have a way of, most especially if they are not matured,
Yes, sir.
they begin to demean you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
You understand?
Yes.
Oh, I've always told our people that you caught someone fornicating shouldn't mean that that person shouldn't lead praise and worship again. But if you tell people that are religious,
Yes, sir.
it's like you're encouraging sin, but it's a lie. We're not encouraging sin.
Yes, sir.
People are not going to change outside the church. It's inside the church they're
Church.
going to change.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So trying to, we had some few scenarios, and this person was saying, no, discipline me. I said, no. Am I the one that you sin against? You sin against God.
God.
And the last I checked, he has forgiven you. So who is Gabriel? That was the word I used.
Yes, sir.
Do you know that this person broke into tears some more? And that's another thing again. Some people who are ready to change
Yes.
will always speak the right things. But there are some people, they look for avenues to go deeper in their mess.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Because
sir.
we have to put a balance between
Yes,
two.
sir.
Yeah.
True.
This person was broken some more, and this person came and met me that I'm going on so day, because I just know that I need to work on myself. But you see, if the person has come around and there's a lot of judgment,
Yes, sir.
there's a lot of pa 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 pa
Yes.
pa pa pa. You see, the woman that was caught in the act. Hmm?
Yes, sir.
It was not even the stone, the physical stone, that would have actually destabilized the woman.
True, sir.
Yeah, the word.
It was the kind of people that were trying to, disgrace her, expose her.
Wow.
So there are two types of stone. There is the physical stone and there is the emotional stone. She was already messed up. Her mind was messed.
That brings us to the fact
Yeah.
that there are people who have made mistakes,
Yeah.
and all they need is someone to extend grace
Yeah, grace to them.
to them,
Yeah.
because they are in that state. They are willing to change.
Yeah, willing to change. I love that word.
But we as humans, especially when we are so into ourselves,
Yeah, yeah.
and we begin to judge them,
Mm.
do not extend that grace, and then rather than try to discipline them, then restore, we push them away. They get deeper into the mess, or they get offended and leave where they are meant to grow,
Yeah.
and it has a ripple effect
On the chain, yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I speak to that, and especially to the fact that our mission is to create a safe space
Yeah,
for
safe
anyone,
space, yeah.
anybody at
Yeah,
all, to
yeah.
be able to, tell their stories, speak their truth, inspire other people
Yeah.
without, having the fear of being judged. So, because there are people that are going through so much things that they cannot
A
open
lot.
their
Very
mouth.
serious.
Do you know what
Very
it is? Do you know what it is for? Sometimes, do you know what it is? By privilege, you are even privileged to see the danger,
Mhm.
and you tell the people not to go in.
Yeah.
But right now, you are the one packing the pool with the people. I don't know if you understand
Yes,
what that
sir.
means. But you see, those are one of the ways to test the height of your patience. Yeah. I have them 15 years, 14 years. Oh, don't do this, don't do this. Yet we are writing it together. And
Yes,
they
sir.
know that
Yes,
it's
sir.
genuinely.
Yes.
I'm one of them.
Because you are one of
I'm one of
they
them.
know that it's genuine, because you see, every lash I'm going to lash, I don't say things behind.
Yeah.
I give it to you and that's the end.
Yes, sir.
But I tell you, every love you need, every cuddle you need, I make sure you have it.
Yes, sir.
But you see, this is the challenge with some of our young people. They want people that will bring you in, tap your back, then as you are leaving, the whole world is hearing about it. I don't know if you're seeing it. As you are just leaving,
Yes, sir.
it's on their status. Oh, somebody, all those kind of,
Yes, sir.
the whole world knows that, oh, somebody just, but let's deal with it, and that is the end.
True, sir.
As in, I mean, absolutely the end. From your heart of heart,
Yes, sir.
it is the end. You know that even before and that is where you see the man of God overestimating himself is also a challenge. The God that created the person has forgiven. Who are you to hold grudges?
Yeah. So what you just said now, I usually tell people that God loves all of
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
It's just like a parent who has two children, and both of them have a misunderstanding. God will not kill one. I mean,
Yeah.
your father will not kill one just to please the other. Same thing with God.
Yeah.
God will not kill a child he loves just to appease you.
I usually put it this way. There's no child that is meant for the dustbin.
Aha.
No child.
So that expectation of God, I expect you to deal with this person
Yeah.
because the person did this.
Well, I have another question I would like to ask.
Okay.
you. Over time, I've had the privilege to watch you from afar and closely,
Yeah.
and there's something I noticed
We have
that
been long with this man. Oh.
I notice how passionate you are about people, and the questions I have is, what are the things that happened that made you? Because I know that things do not really just happen. Like people do not just get to a place.
Yeah.
Yes.
They are
and
just like
become
that.
the way they are.
So I'm curious to know what really happened. Like how has it been like? Because I notice how much you don't give up on people. You're
Yes.
always
Yeah.
pushing for change. You're always, you need to grow. In short, like you get to know things even before, like you can tell, okay, I think you should work on this, go and do this, go and do that.
Yeah.
And it has been like that for years. So
Very
what is
consistent.
that drive? What really is the drive that help you to be there always for people? Because I know that it's not really something easy
So
to do. It's not
I believe that it has to do with some of experiences he has had
exactly.
Yes.
that has gotten him to that point where he knows that if I was able to make it to this point,
This
it means
person
there is hope for others. And because of my experience, I can help others
Yeah.
genuinely. So, sir, please can you walk us
Mama
through
is
your
already
journey?
answering the
No. I want to yet
Elaborating on
just.
the question.
you see, sometimes, just as you said, when you've had people give up on you,
How it feels.
when you've had people that ought to be like a covering, a shoulder that you ought to lean on. Let me say this probably for the first time. I was ordained a man of God over this privileged ministry that Grace actually gave to me. 2010, 17th and 18th of, it was a Friday into Saturday. It was a night vigil into
Okay,
Saturday. So 17th and 18th. Now, it was so because the people that were within at that time, within this territory at that time, they believed that the end of your destiny is to sing, and that is all. So in short, some of them in quote, they still feel that you are not called. But the prophetic grace is not upon your life, the apostolic is not upon your life. You don't know, everything you are teaching is still like that. So, but over time, by grace, some few things has happened where they have been, posed with options, and they say, if you want this matter to be dealt with, this is the person, this is the person, this is the person, this is the person. So it's like, was it not this same person that we gave up on? So, in short, there are so many illustrations I would have loved to, but you see, the consumption of this matter so that we can, so that we will not begin to get it now. So a lot of people have decided that, this is the end of the rope for you. So I have told myself, by the privilege of His grace, that every person that I know and I meet, I know when I meet, if grace helps us to meet,
Yes, sir.
I will make sure that I push until I sniff my breath or you sniff your final breath. But I tell you, if I have you as a contact on my phone,
Yes, sir.
I will keep calling, I will keep pushing until I see the best out of you. So because some people have taught it,
Yes, sir.
and grace kept us. So I believe by grace, I might not have wings, but I'm an angel to so many people.
Yes, sir.
And my name
Hallelujah.
is Gabriel, so
Angel Gabriel.
Okay. As we begin to wrap up, sir, we talked about choices earlier, and you made a choice to be a blessing to others. There are some that have made the choice to go the other route, which is they rather than be people persons, try to help others. They just live in this world of theirs. They are driven by their past, their pain, their experiences, and they want to prove a point. So they don't mind trampling on other
Others.
people
Yeah.
just for them to rise.
Rise.
So that is one I would like to speak to, sir. Then two is, at the same time, we see people that have been, that God has helped, and they have attained this status where to mortal man, they are okay. They are in that state of perfection. And these ones, they are seen like, they are placed on a pedestal, so to speak. And they are human beings like us who have experiences that are not pleasant, so to speak. It might not be all the time. But because they have gotten to this point where there are a lot of people who look up to them, you get to find out that people don't believe or have come to the conclusion that they don't
They go
have
through-
bad
they don't have-
experiences. They don't go through, they don't have bad experiences. So, and they I feel they should be telling people the truth.
truth. Yeah.
That is what
Yeah.
I feel. So
Yeah.
I might have attained this, but it wasn't
This way before.
this way before. Even
And
like
even in this realm,
yes.
I still have my challenges.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So people can
Relate.
relate.
At every
with them.
level, with its own devil.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, that's,
so, sir,
that's
please
it.
speak to these two things.
So on this, from the second note,
Yes,
I
sir.
think it's also a sense of, pride. It's a sense of pride. Because sometimes there's a way we want people to perceive us. Because
Yes, sir.
if Apostle Paul can still tell us that he has infirmities,
Mm.
he have infirmities. It was written that there were times when Jesus Christ slept
Yes, sir.
and he hungered. Again.
Yes, sir.
So why will it be hard for us to share our own challenges? It's a sense of pride. I understand that sometimes some of these people feel that okay, maybe the audience they are dealing with might
Yes, sir.
begin to demean them, might not really, because
Yeah.
sometimes
Or
some
judge
people
them.
True.
some people they might just judge them, demean them, and they feel, oh, what do you want to tell us? You that we
Yes.
have seen, something. But you see, one of the ways to truly show that we have what we call the community of brethren,
Yes.
is that we are able to be vulnerable. We're able to share with each other. That's what we call that's the true. It's not that we just come, we shout, and we go back. We're able to share our weaknesses, transparent accountability.
Yes, sir.
Then this person is able to help you to say, okay, you don't fall. I'm going to stand with you. I'm going to hold you.
Yes,
through."
sir.
Okay. So I believe if we can have a set of people that have some level of understanding,
Yes, sir.
then also the heart of these people that are going through it are not having pride. It can be. There's nobody that is a god here, super. No.
True, sir.
Every one of us, we are working towards perfection.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
True, sir.
Every one of us. Oh, you know me very well now. You can't try rubbish. I'm going to give it to you.
Hot, hot.
Are you getting me now? Oh, you see, as we begin to grow, we realize that the Holy Ghost need to work on us.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you, because you will just notice that, you feel that you ought to address everything in that light. But you see, sometimes when you don't sit down and understand the reason for people's character, what happened to them and the rest of them,
Yes, sir.
you scare them away from even talking to you.
True, sir.
Mm. Sure.
Yeah, you scare them away
Sure.
from talking to you.
Because
you
just
see-
if you are not, you are not
you don't-
relatable.
You don't want to listen.
Yeah.
You don't want to listen. You just want to, have what you have decided in your heart
Yes, sir.
is what you just want to, divulge out, and that is all. You don't want to listen to the other part, that person's part of the story.
Yes, sir.
And it's also a sense of pride. You are trying to be
Sure.
defensive. You know what I mean? Then the first one, which is ability to, if I can remember it.
Okay, I was saying that our experiences inform our choices.
Yeah,
so some
yeah.
can choose to help others
Yeah,
with their
yeah,
experiences,
yeah,
while
yeah,
others
yeah,
just
yeah.
trample upon others.
You see, on that note, it shows the quality of your encounter. Did you truly encounter God? The truth is this. Some people encountered themselves in the place of prayer. So,
Wow.
yeah. There's something I want us to see as a baseline today. There's nothing like purpose, destiny, calling, ministry without people.
Yes, sir.
It might not be millions, it might not be thousands. Sometimes God might just call you to disciple 3 people. To the end of your life, just disciple 3 people. But I'm telling you, God can never call you to yourself.
True, sir.
Oh, I think
Kai.
someone need to
Kai.
absorb that.
God can never
God
call
cannot
you to yourself.
you to yourself for yourself no,
of
no.
yourself by yourself.
No, it can't be. Your calling has to be for people. Has to be for people. So when someone is telling you that, oh, I've gone through this, and because of these experiences, I'm trying to hold on to myself, it's the enemy that is speaking, it's not the Holy Ghost. No, it's not the Holy Ghost. You know, we said it before now that it is the people that you are called to serve
Yes, sir.
that are still the
that's
core
even
enemy
more.
of your call.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Ones
Yeah.
that test you the
Yes,
most.
so this is where your maturity comes in.
Yeah.
This is where your maturity. How do you? Somebody messed up yesterday, and the Holy. How do you partition it? Somebody messed up yesterday, and the Holy Ghost is showing you that you should pray against the spirit of death for that same person.
Ah,
Now, if you are carnal, you say make he die.
yes.
But if you are truly spiritual, I stand in the gap. This young man will not die. To prove that the devil is a liar and God must be glorified in this. He's not going anywhere. But some other men of God, the tribe, oh, he's a rebellion, let him die.
Let's
Is it-
surrender him to the devil
To deal with
to
him.
deal with him.
Are you getting me? So it's the truth is this: at the end of the day, if the fruit of the spirit has found expression in the soul,
Yes, sir.
it's a fruit of the spirit. But many of us have left it in the spirit.
Mm.
Ah,
We didn't concentrate.
The fruit of the spirit.
We have left
Let
it in the spirit.
must
It has
find
not
expression
manifested in the
in
soul.
Mm.
Joy, peace,
Love.
gentleness, love,
Meekness.
self meekness. We've not allowed it to come to the soul because you see, every intention of hurt, hatred, and harm,
Yes, sir.
it comes from the soul.
Yes, sir.
You see, I was speaking to someone yesterday, and I was telling that person, one of the ways to know that you are humane, you are a human being, is that you will see things that will clearly hurt another person, and it will look as if you did not even see it, but yet you go an extra mile to pull off those things from the road. Is someone here with me?
Yes. Yes, sir.
I tell you, I did a broadcast I think that should be last week or last upper week, that if every believer should live according to the fruit of the spirit,
Yes, sir.
this earth will become heaven on earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Is someone here with me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
I saw a recommendation that will bless you. I'm not feeling intimidated that you are going to be more than me.
Yes, sir.
I push you into it. But it's a lie about church folks.
Yeah.
As long as it's not me, make it remain there.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm not talking about because now you see, okay, let's leave that. But if the fruit of the spirit will find expression in our soul, we'll have heaven on earth.
And then, sir, church setting now. So beyond the sinner's prayer, beyond Bible believers class, I think a lot of times we end it there, not knowing that people are, or not realizing that people are coming from somewhere
Yeah.
with baggages, and yes, the believers class is meant to help them walk with God, transform them, and all that. But there are people who still need people hands-on to hold them by the hand
Yeah.
and walk them through these processes
Yeah.
practically. So beyond theory, I think there is a whole lot of folks within the body. Now we're talking about people that have come to the knowledge of Christ, who are in need of this, but are not vocal about it because probably they don't. That space has not been created.
Yeah.
They don't have people like that who can walk them through this journey, and everyone is just self-absorbed in
Yeah.
their own
Yeah.
thing. So, sir, I would like you to speak to this, and then let this be a form of awareness,
Yeah,
so we
yeah.
can take cognizance of this and begin to create spaces like this, where we know that there are churches who have communities
Yeah, yeah.
where people with similar experiences can meet. But I
yeah.
think we should be intentional about these things. So, sir, please.
Now, let me begin by saying this. Being vocal about it, opening up your mouth to say this and this and this
Yes, sir.
is what I'm going through, is the first dimension of your deliverance. Yeah. Yeah. It's the first dimension of your deliverance. One of the things the enemy wants you to always do, just as we agreed,
Yes, sir.
is that he wants to make you feel that you are the
The
only
only
one
one.
doing it.
Yes, sir.
And so saying it, you will look as if you are a foreign body.
Sure, sir.
But it's a lie. It's a lie. If I tell you my story, I don't think there's anything you want to think of that is called a sin that I've not done. I don't think. If you think it, ask me and I will tell you the scenario. When I was in the world. But I tell you, when I came to God,
Yes, sir.
I met a wonderful brother that was a youth corper that came to serve all the way from Ilaro. And I was able to open up everything to him. When I met Mama, I opened up everything to her.
Mama is his wife, by the way.
I opened up everything. Now, that began to give me a consciousness that, man, this life, your confession
Yes.
has told yourself, your body, that you are not going back there again.
Yes.
But sometimes when you have not been able to, the truth is this, let me say this to us. The woman that was caught in the act,
Yes, sir.
she had two choices. The first was to live in the image of what Christ started, dishing into her from that day
Yes, sir.
that she met with Jesus. The second choice was to live in the image of the society. Where am I going to? No matter how you make your confession, somehow, there will be somebody somewhere that want to make a mockery of you.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, this is where you will now tell yourself that the image of God in me, the personality and the functionality, that is his image and his
Yes,
likeness
sir.
in me, is greater than whatsoever anybody. You see, that's why I asked us this question. What is my cost price? If my cost price is the person of Jesus and his blood,
Yes, sir.
I tell you, I don't care.
Care.
Let anybody sound anything anywhere. As long as I'm redeemed, I'm cleansed, he's working on me, I'm making progress. I'm no longer who I used to be yesterday. There is a change consistently.
Yes, sir.
Because the truth is this, if you keep listening to what people will say, you will realize that you will go back again to where you came from. How? You begin to live a life of condemnation.
Yeah.
True. Self-condemnation.
Yeah. You will go back to where you come from.
I've heard someone said that, I don't try to do good, work for me, so make I just remain bad.
Bad.
I've heard
No.
things like that.
No.
From people.
It still boils down to encountering God.
Encountering
Yeah.
God
said.
genuinely.
Genuinely.
That lady I told you on air, I told her immediately. I said, as long as God gives you air to breathe, it's a sign that he has not condemned you.
Yes.
There was this, you could just see this calmness. I told her, I said, you can always come back. You can always come back to God. The reason why he has not killed you yesterday night and has given you a new breath is so that you can say, Lord, this is me. And the moment you say, this is me, it's not going to take, 10 years, 100. No. Immediately. He will so cleanse you from the sin that in his record you can never find it again.
Yes.
You are and you see, when these convictions can settle in your mind, if I tell you the kind of naughty things this young man has done, Then grace has given me the privilege to, minister to people. I don't see myself in that image. I see myself in the image of what he has already done for me.
You are no longer.
Are you
who
getting
used to be.
it distills and clears you of it. You know that there's no debt to pay again because the blood has paid it all. I don't know if someone is
Yes,
helping.
sir.
Yes,
The
sir.
blood has paid it all. So you now begin to live in the confidence and the conviction of his son. You begin to manifest. So you are no longer going back to Hebrews 6, the doctrine of I fall, I wiggle. You are now standing as a son. But you see, it does not just happen overnight.
Yes.
It's not automated. Not that you just appear as a Christian and you press this button and you move.
Oh.
There are processes to it.
And you have to be intentional about
You
it.
have to be intentional about it.
Intentional.
And you see, when you fall, you don't beat or batter yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't beat or batter yourself. You go to him for mercy. And you say, Lord, I need. And that is where the vulnerability comes in.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Lord, give me grace. Give me grace to stand. I cannot, you see, and that is you must know that you cannot do it on your
On
own.
your own.
You see, self-righteousness
Ah,
will keep keeping us in a roller coaster.
true, sir.
Yo-yo. We are just self-righteousness. But when you understand his birth, his suffering, his death, his resurrection, and his second coming, when you understand the 5 implications of these things, it sets you on fire. It sets you on fire. I'm talking about an understanding that is weightier than religion, relics, routine, and what people just gather together. And we're talking about where you enter into core relationship. What was the birth of Jesus Christ really? Why did he come? The suffering, why did he suffer? Resurrection, what accomplished it? And why did he resurrect it? What are the dividends for me? Are you getting me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
When you begin to get the grasp of all these things as a child of God, there's no way the enemy can begin to, put you at that place of guilt.
Yes,
You will just know that his blood has paid it all for me.
Right. On that note, oh my God, we could stay here all day. It's always a pleasure, having conversations with you. Yeah, it's something that I personally can never be tired of. I always enjoy my conversations with you. So we've heard it. It boils down to relationship,
Yeah,
knowing God,
knowing God.
believing God, accepting
The work of the cross.
accepting the work of the cross. Also identifying that thing that is at the core of your soul that has been a hindrance.
Yes.
Acknowledging it and then seeking for help.
Seeking for help.
So it takes discernment for you to be able to find someone you can actually divulge your experiences to.
Yeah.
Don't just go to any Tom, Dick, and Harry to. So this is the Life Podcast, your safe space. We encourage you to join us. We encourage you to follow us on our social media handles, which will be in the link in the description below. Also, we welcome your comments. And also, there's a link for you to share your stories. You are a living being. Your stories are valid. Your experiences are valid.
Very much.
And join this community, this great community. Walk through this journey together to the place of wholeness and healing. And know that you are loved by your Maker. You are loved by your Maker.
As we have opened up, just make sure that you take the right decision of, number one, opening up to a confidant that is matured. That's number one. Someone that is matured in God. Someone that will not, condemn you. Someone that will walk you through. Make up your mind. Because sometimes, You see, the more you continue to delay, the more deeper you go into this mess.
Yes.
So don't
Ah.
don't begin to procrastinate. You've already told yourself that I recognize this thing to be a stronghold, an issue. So I want to come out of it. Open up, open up. And I believe if that person is genuinely matured, the person will also lead you to the most matured personality, which is the Holy Spirit,
Yes.
that will now finally complete and conclude, the work of your transformation and regeneration. And with time, you realize that everything that you went through was not actually a regret. It was just a template that will open you to a new dimension. So I want you to open up, open up, open up, open up, and don't shut down. The Lord bless you in Jesus' name.
Thank you so much,
Amen.
sir.
Thank you
Have a
so much,
beautiful
sir.
We really appreciate you, sir. God bless you. So we hope to have you some other time.
Welcome, Sister
Alright.
Rose. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Sam, the cool guy.
All right. So from I, Hafi Oni, your hosts, I say God bless you. See you some other time.
Stay connected.